Topping Talks.
Let's
105 hours a week can't be beat. Welcome to Topping Talks. Topping Talks is a Topping Tribune production. Today's episode is proudly sponsored by Topping Technologies. Topping Technologies is an IT value-added reseller and services company with a special proficiency in IT security. Heck, I see their founder at least twice a day because he's quite handsome and brilliant. He's me, see, that's the joke. If you're an IT leader or business owner, you can reach out to the team at sales@toppingtechnologies.com. Also, still giving away a free Flamethrower with every IT purchase. Go to toppingtechnologies.com and click the Flamethrower button to learn more, or click the URL in the video description below. Lastly, trying to get to 2,000 subscribers by the end of the month, so if you can click that button, I greatly appreciate it. Now, without further ado, today I'm proud to say I'm interviewing JR Hawthorne, who is a systems administrator at Landmark Services. Thanks so much for coming on the show.
I'm happy to be here, man. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So, winding back the clock a couple of years, how did you first get into IT?
Ooh, I first got into IT, I didn't know what to do, honestly. They were broadcasting a lot about being a network engineer. That was like the sexy thing going on at that particular moment, kind of like how cybersecurity is right now. Mm-hmm. And I was like, you know what? I might as well give that a try because, like, the girls I was talking to at the moment, they were all becoming nurses and things like that. And I said, hey, I need something kind of secure. So I was like, I'm going to fall into this, even though I didn't even know anything about it.
There you go. Do you remember your first computer or kind of your first itchy I thought IT would be a cool thing to get into?
You know what? It's weird because it was like a full circle type thing, right? Like in elementary school, I would play like video games. I learned how to read good by playing Final Fantasy VII.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Classic.
Man. Yeah, real classic. You know, they just did another remake of it, so I'm really feeling that. But I don't know. I found myself like reading little magazines. I didn't know what I was doing. Like my PlayStation would break. I would try to solder things back together.
Oh, really?
Get things back going. Then my mom, she bought like an HP. This is back like in 97, 98, right? Mm-hmm. And she would want me to do educational stuff on there, and I probably wouldn't do it for real. You know, I think around this time you had AOL. You'd go to Blockbuster, get the little AOL CD, try to get a little bit of internet, but it was running over a telephone line.
Okay.
So
Dial up.
It was very, very slow. It was an HP computer for sure. You know, we broke that. And she got an E-machine, and I was stealing all type of stuff on LimeWire and Kazaa. And really, I tore that one up too. Those are like my earliest memories that I had with computers outside the ones that were at school. And like, I'm old enough to remember when they had like the floppy disk in it. It was like when I was in kindergarten.
Oh, yeah.
I ain't spent a lot of time with it.
No, I remember that was a very special moment when I was in, I think it was kindergarten or first grade. Like, each student got their own floppy disk to save stuff to, and the teacher was like, "This is really important. You don't lose it." Like, it was top, really, that was cutting edge at the time. You had your own floppy disk for each student.
You know what? It's crazy, right? Because I remember like every couple of years you got like this new technology advancement. Like, I remember. Like my junior year, they started coming out with the flash drives. Like, oh, we got the flash drive. Save it to the jump drive, guys. I was like, oh, yeah.
It's got 50 megabytes of capacity. Woo, there you go.
That was really the wave right then.
Oh, absolutely. And now you get like terabytes on a micro SD card. It's insane how much density they've gotten to, just storage throughout the years.
Definitely. And then, I've paid a little bit of extra money so I can have a little more iCloud storage because I just need my stuff on the go,
Absolutely. Then do you remember your first role in IT, or what was that like?
Ooh, my first role in IT, my coworker, well, this was my classmate, this was my guy. He got me a role at this temp company. I think it was called Pomeroy. Mm-hmm. They're like a staffing agency, right? And I was doing, I guess, help desk, but this wasn't even like help desk. This was for Blue Cross Blue Shield in Kansas City, Missouri. Man, I didn't really do so much there, right? They had like a VDI system, and everybody was working remote. This was before like remote work was really a thing. Mm-hmm. They would be on these thin clients. It was a Citrix ran thing, and the only thing that I could really do was like probably restart their Citrix session and maybe reset a password in AD. And it's like, it was really just like boring, what I'm saying? Like I ain't really do anything techie or anything like that. I was there for like 6 months. Then I got like my first job where it's like, all right, we're really doing a little something now.
There you go.
Yeah.
And then what was that first job after that?
The first job that I like to really claim was at a company called Terracon. All right, so that's when I got the first real tier 1 role.
Nice.
I think I landed that role based off of me actually interfacing with Active Directory. It was like in 2016. And in my job interview, they asked me something about networking. And it's like, that's one thing that I did know. I know that the OSI model? Because like our teacher would always hammer it in our head. So I was able to speak to that and it landed me the role. But the thing that was weird, I had like imposter syndrome because all throughout school we was learning like network related stuff. Like, hey, configure this switch, configure this router, conf T, set an IP address on this router, things like that, right? So when I got over to like enterprise client device side of things, I'm like, oh man, I don't know what I'm doing, but I know what I'm doing if you're catching my drift. Like, I could figure it out, but I don't know. I think everybody has to run through a little bit of imposter syndrome, especially in this industry. But after you do it for so long, it kind of becomes second nature.
And what's your favorite part about working there?
My favorite part about working there was the environment. I work with some great people, right? God took me under their wing. I started learning things. It started to build my confidence. I still had imposter syndrome because I had culture shock a little bit, right? But the guys that I worked with, like, they were just different than me. Like, I'm not the traditional IT techie guy or whatever. So they'd be like, yeah, man, we're watching Star Wars. We're watching Game of Thrones. And at this time, I never seen a Star Wars movie, and they roasted me bad. They're like, bro, how you going to be in tech and never see a Star Wars? I'm like, bro, you know? It don't go like that, my guy. You know what I'm saying? But they did turn me on to a lot of things, like Game of Thrones. Like, now I'm all into that. You know what I'm saying? We'd be in the office playing hacky sack, and, you know, I ain't never played hacky sack. But it was cool, though. Like, it was some real cool guys there, and, you know, a lot of them are doing a lot of positive things in their careers right about now.
I was going to say, and you've seen Star Wars right now, right?
Nah, man.
What?
Hey, you have to check me out.
Stop right now. We'll
to
turn it on.
my defense, right? Man, it's hard to find time to sit down and actually watch a movie. You know,
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. But, you know, if they can condense it and put in a little TikToks and things like that, then we'll be cooking with fire.
The good rule of thumb is if he has Harrison Ford, it's worth watching.
I mean, I'm watching. I was watching a show, I think, that has Harrison Ford, like 1923 or something like that.
Yeah.
But, I mean, Harrison Ford, he's like 80.
You still got it?
I mean, hey, get your money, Harrison Ford. I'm not mad at you.
But yeah, to me, the OG Star Wars are the ones that had Harrison Ford. The old ones, the original ones back in the day, was kind of the pinnacle of the series. Eventually,
when I get time to actually not do something, I will dive into that. And we're gonna have this conversation again. All right.
Right?
All right.
And then where do you move on from there in the IT world?
All right. So around that time, that's when I actually made my move down to the DFW area. All right. And I took on a role at JR Hawthorne.
There you go.
All right, man. It was cool. It was cool. Now, JR Hawthorne has like the biggest home builder.
Oh, yeah, North America.
Exactly. So we had a lot of calls coming in. It was
oh, Jesus, yeah.
It was
what kind of volume is that? I can't imagine that kind of...
What Drake said, back to back.
Yeah, like how many of those calls are coming in for customer support? I can't imagine the amount of IT needed as well.
Yeah, man. I mean, they had 20 people on the help desk. Then you had like a projects team, and you had all type of other teams. It was cool, but the only thing that, you know, I don't like about working at bigger companies is you're siloed a little bit. So if this is what you do, this is what you do. And
what was your role there?
My role, I was still like I was on some help desk stuff. Yeah, but with that role, I got to see a lot of things because I travel a lot.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I travel all the time. I'll probably be gone 3 weeks out of the month. And that's because they're always building up. They're building up something, and you got to lay down infrastructure. You have to get things set up so you can sell houses, and that's what I would do there.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Like installing access points, or what were we up to?
Well, it wasn't necessarily access points, right? You would have a router, and you want that router to be programmed to communicate with the network. So, you know, you would roll out an ASA, and that would have a VPN or a block of IPs that connect to the VPN. That way you have communication that is secure in that LAN.
Where was the craziest or what was the most fun place you got to travel to as well?
The same places everybody likes to travel to, Miami,
Oh, wow,
and Vegas. Yeah, we do it moving.
That's awesome. Literally homes all over.
Hey, they're like the McDonald's of houses.
That's
right?
true.
You go in the neighborhood one day, you see trees, and you come back in a month like, hey, I really got some infrastructure here. So, it's a beautiful thing that they do there. Yeah.
What's the most random or unusual place you had to travel to? Like, you thought, are they making a house here? Or like...
Honestly, I wouldn't say that they were like random spots. I think it's very strategic if you look at what's going on in the world right now.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be a lot of houses getting built up in the Gulf Coast.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
True.
So let's say it was a spot called Daphne, Alabama,
Mm-hmm.
which is like a suburb of Mobile, Alabama. Then you would have like Orange Beach, Alabama. And like that was really a smart move when you think about it, because you have a lot of snowbirds and people that's going to move down there, and you got beachfront property and you're getting it for very, very cheap.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, all right, that was real strategic now that I look back on it. Now at that time, I didn't really know what was going on, but I'm a little sharper, and I'm like, okay, I see the play. It makes sense.
Mm-hmm. All coming together now. Makes sense.
Definitely.
And then what was your favorite part about working there?
My favorite part of working there was really like traveling, meeting people, talking to people. I'm a conversationist, so I like to engage and talk to different people, and then I learn new things. I might meet somebody that's into this, or they might be into that, and then we have full circle moments.
Mm-hmm.
I could take my expertise and bring value to what they got going on, and vice versa. One hand washes another.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Then where'd you go from DR Horton?
From DR Hawthorne, I went to Commercial Metals Company.
There you go.
All right, if you catching like the trend of this thing, it's always something that's like in
Manufacturing.
basically. Yeah, but that was a contract role. That was a cool role as well, right? So with that role, I still got to gain a little bit more knowledge, right? I wasn't dealing with phones. I didn't get to travel as much, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I got to get around people that were showing me certain things. At that point in time, I was sitting by guys that was working with SCCM and Intune.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And they would start to show me things, and then the curiosity would go off in my head like, hey, I can do that. Because if we're really going to be honest about all this, you can do everything. Mm-hmm. It's just you probably haven't done it.
Exactly.
Meaning that you lack the exposure, but you can get the exposure to anything that's Microsoft related, because there's a million YouTube tutorials and Udemy classes, and you can build out an environment for very cheap. So sitting around these guys, I got so much game and skills and a mindset. I'm like, okay, now we can really do something. And from there, I just started taking my craft way serious. At first, like I said, I struggled with imposter syndrome. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I don't know, maybe I don't belong in this space, right? Mm-hmm. And by the time I got to CMC, it all started to click. I'm like, okay, I can really do whatever as long as I look at it, as long as I spend time with it. If I wrestle around with something for about 100 hours, and I know 100 hours sounds like a lot to most people, but if you really think about it, if you spend 2 hours a day at something for 45 days, 50 days, you're at 100 hours, trust me.
Oh, that's up.
You're going to feel real comfortable. Yeah, so, being around those guys, it really helped me out, and it prepared me for roles that I'm doing now and things that I plan on doing in the future.
Very nice. And then was that still a help desk one, or what kind of contract was it?
No, that wasn't really help desk. That was more of a desktop support type situation. So I was really there to help with a project of rolling out a lot of client devices. Mm-hmm. Most of the time in an organization, you have 3 to 5 years of being on an asset.
Yep.
And then from there, it's probably deprecated. You did everything you need to do with it, and you want to get something new because it's just not relevant to the times, right? And that's what they were doing. And my job was to help them with those refreshes. I just ran through the work so fast, and people liked what I was doing. They was trying to keep me around.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And then where do you go from CMC?
After that, I went to Landmark Structures.
There you go.
Yes.
And what do y'all do?
Landmark Structures is the best, and I mean the absolute best, water tower builder in the world.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's great if you think about it, because we live in Texas, right? Mm-hmm. Think about how many new communities is popping up.
True.
Everybody needs water.
Exactly. You got to put that water somewhere.
Exactly. And that's when you call Landmark, they get the job done.
That's pretty cool.
Yes, sir.
What's your role like now?
My role now is a lot of Intune related things. So I deal with a lot of application deployments, enforcing certain policies, creating autopilot. So when we get devices, we can have our out-of-box experience flow seamlessly, conditional access policies, everything that you can think of as an endpoint engineer. That's kind of what I do. But seeing as a smaller company, I might do something as petty as a password reset or something as extreme as coming up with the password policies or rolling out, Wi-Fi, Wi-Fi to talk with a radius server. It's never a dull moment. It's always a project, but I love it.
That's the really fun thing about working with smaller companies too, is you get a lot more flexibility and you really glow. I think that's one of the best places to go if you want to grow as an person, employee, because bigger companies usually you're kind of siloed. You do one thing, so you specialize it very well. But smaller companies, you get to go out there and kind of show them what you can do in multiple areas, other departments.
I strongly agree. I say with smaller companies, and I know most people are going to hate that I say this, I'm going to say with an MSP, right? Because it's sink or swim.
Oh, yeah, very true.
And, honestly, if you're resourceful, I think you can figure out anything if you have the mindset to figure it out. If you know how to communicate, ask questions, research, and fail in controlled environments, you can be successful anywhere. But those two places, like smaller companies and MSPs, they give you the room to fail because you get more opportunities at things,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And what's your dream job, or what's the future? What are you looking at?
Well, I say my future is something to do with cloud security.
Oh, that's a big one right now.
Yeah, it's big. Everything's going to the cloud,
That's true.
I think a lot of companies are getting away from their on-prem environments,
oh, yeah.
Whenever COVID happened, a lot of people had big money going into on-prem.
Oh, they used to, yeah.
Right, but we're 5 years away from that.
Mm-hmm.
Then in 5 years, we're going to be 10 years away from that. And then a lot of people are trying to lean into this AI thing, and the AI thing is going to get ran on cloud servers that have big GPUs associated with them. So, I'm just trying to put myself right in the position.
Oh, yeah, those server farms are growing left and right. NVIDIA can't make the chips fast enough, TSMC, the actual manufacturer, but NVIDIA is designing them. But yeah, it is insane to see the growth with AI and just the demand for pretty much every industry benefiting from it. But people forget you gotta build those data centers somewhere. The AI's gotta work somewhere.
Right.
It's on someone else's computer or data center more accurately.
And think about the power consumption as well. So that's another industry that's going to benefit from the AI revolution. And then you have to think about the people that have to secure the data associated with AI. And I just think it's a beautiful time to be alive if you really think about it, because this is the next revolution. Mm-hmm. This is what, the cotton genie was back in the day. This is what the
automobile.
The automobile, you know what I'm saying? This is what we need right now. This is the .com thing before that really happened. Now, you see everybody has computers and everything is based off the internet. This is that for our generation. So I want to be in prime position to be right in the mix of things.
That's the way to do it. I like it.
Yes, sir.
And what do you like to do outside the office?
I like to watch sports.
Oh, yeah? Who's your team?
I am a Kansas City Chiefs fan. Now, I know we just lost the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But you got to look at this thing, man. We went to 5 Super Bowls in the last 6 years. We won 3 of them. Philly, they had a great year. It was their time to shine. But, we're 1-1, so I really can't complain. And, we're the evil empire. We'll be back next year.
There you go.
Yeah, with Taylor Swift.
Oh, yeah? Really?
Yeah. That's our cousin now. She's in Kansas City. We take care of her. We get her barbecue and all type of stuff like that. And, she looks good in that Chiefs red. It really highlights her features.
There you go.
Yeah.
You like to go to the games?
Yeah, I definitely like to go to the games.
I can't imagine. Have you ever been to a Super Bowl game?
And man, you know what? I was supposed to go this year, but I had a funny feeling. It's I'm very, very superstitious, right? Mm-hmm. And it's like a lot of times I need to be by myself watching a game. And I think that's where I messed up at this year. Mm-hmm. I went to a Super Bowl party.
Uh-oh.
Right? And the last time I went to a Super Bowl party, we lost.
Oh, no.
But I was like, you know what? if I wear Chiefs red instead of wearing black,
Right?
we might be all right. But nah, I didn't go like that. I left halfway through the party. I couldn't take it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it hurt. It didn't hurt as bad as us losing that first Super Bowl, you know.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like your first heartbreak. Your first heartbreak, you might lose a little weight. You might be devastated. That second heartbreak, you know, it's like, it hurts. But, you know, eventually it's going to end.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And what else do you like to do outside?
I like to watch sports. I like to watch sports. I like to learn, you know. Like, I'm a geek a little bit, right? Yeah. I mean, I don't look like a conventional geek, but I'm a geek. Like, I get on YouTube. I'll watch some, I don't know. I'm watching John Saval videos, trying to learn some Azure-related things.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you know, I put in lots of hours on that. Microsoft Learn. You know what? I like to drink wine.
Oh, really? No way. What's your favorite brand?
I don't know. I just like to drink it.
How'd you get into that?
You know, I'm a serial dater.
There you go.
And so in the midst of me being on the dates, you know, I had some wine. I said, you know what? I like the feeling of this. It's not as bad as liquor is. You know, liquor.
That's harsh.
I'm in my 30s, so I can't handle the liquor like that. So, you know, I like to consider myself a more refined gentleman nowadays. So I'll sip a little wine and, you know, listen to some live music. I just like to be outside the house, catching a nice vibe. You know, I might tune into a podcast like you.
There you go.
Shout out to the Potters.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, definitely, man. You know, and I like to engage in nice conversation. You know, we can sip a little wine, smoke a cigar, have a little bit of conversation about whatever. And that's a good time for me.
Okay. What's your favorite cigar you hanging out with these days?
I don't know. I just be in the mix. You see, I'm not an aficionado. Nah, man. I just like to live life a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, if things like that come with a good conversation, that's how I just lean into it, you know?
Oh, absolutely. I was going to say a good cigar under $20. They got a good set of industrial cigar. It's a mom and pop shop over in Frisco, and they got really good Crux cigars, CRUX.
Okay.
Last time we hosted a cybersecurity or cigars and cybersecurity event, we went over there for a venue, and those cigars are pretty darn good. It's hard to beat that bang for your buck.
All right. After this interview is over, we're going to go get a cigar, all right?
Yeah,
It's on me.
hell yeah.
All right. I like to take care of my people, man.
Right?
Definitely.
Then I was going to say, when it comes to sports, is it mostly football, or do you like anything else?
It's football and basketball, man. I'm from the city, you know, so that's kind of what we're exposed to a little bit, right? I mean, I can tell you one thing's for sure. It probably sucks to be a Mavs fan. And we're saying that because we're in North Texas, DFW right now. But Kyrie's injured. Anthony Davis is injured, and Luka is looking like the second coming of Larry Bird in LA. So it sucks to be a Mavs fan. However, I'm not like tied to a team like I am with the Chiefs because I'm from the Kansas City.
Oh yeah, makes sense.
Originally, and you know I was a Chiefs fan since the KC Wolf came to my school in second grade.
Oh really?
Yeah, man. You know, back in the day, you had the milk mustache posters.
I remember those.
They had the little height thing.
Yeah.
You know, and I always wanted to grow a couple inches. And you know, like we had a spot called Price Chopper out there and High V, and they would bring the KC Wolf and. You know, in elementary school, you're just so excited. You know, you get to get out of class. We got it wasn't a pep rally, but it was an assembly. Like, we get to get out of class. The Casey kids, we're hyped.
Yeah.
It's like a second recess or something.
Yeah, it's awesome. They got High V over there?
You know, High V is a Midwest thing. I try to tell people, like, hey, you know, we got HEB in Texas, but, man, you put High, it's like Pepsi and Coke. You know what I'm saying?
No, I used to go to High V all the time when I lived in Iowa back in the day.
Yeah, see, it's like Iowa, Missouri, Kansas, Minnesota thing.
Yeah, they got some good stuff over there and good people.
Yeah, definitely.
I was going to say, thank you so much for coming on the show, man. I really appreciate it, man.
Man, I love being here, man. It's been my pleasure, brother.
Hell yeah.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to tune in. Don't forget to take time to like, subscribe, and comment. Also, don't forget to take time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Y'all have a great day. Stay safe. Topping Talks.